So I think it's possible that little double jump maneuver is intended behavior, or it's emergent behavior based on how the morph ball works and how morphing in midair doesn't reset your state as far as being on the ground goes. And the programmers realized that and then built one thing in the game that rewarded players who figured out how to do it. Like, that's also possible. A lot of... the lag is kind of working for me there, the slowdown. I think it's a valid way to design games, is like kind of put together some rules and see what emerges, and then figure out what the fun parts of the emergence are. Here's the first boss. This is Ridley. Ridley doesn't fly so much in this game, he just kind of hops. So we're going to freeze all his little fireballs, and then we're just going to go over here, and we're going to shoot him lots. And eventually his fireballs are going to unfreeze, and we're going to have to refreeze some more. We can kind of just aim up right here, and anytime he's on the ground, he's going to eat our beams. We don't have to use missiles here. We could to shorten the fight, but it takes a lot of missiles, and those are missiles that I would really prefer to have later. Let's refreeze all of these up here. They don't feel like freezing today, huh? Alright, well. There's really not much really can do to you if you're right in this spot anyway. I don't remember if I found this spot as a kid. I think as a kid I probably always fought him with missiles. I probably thought you couldn't damage him without missiles. Bombs I knew could damage the bosses as a kid, because Kraid I used to fight with bombs. I think maybe Nintendo Power... Oh, this contains 10 missiles. I think maybe Nintendo Power had that in there, like, you should use bombs on Kraid. Or maybe not, I'm not actually sure. In any event, I'm going to take this E-Tank for 100 more health. Just killing the boss gives me 75 missiles, which is nice, and I'm going to bail out of... I guess, call it Lower Norfair, I suppose? Actually, in Super Metroid, you do take an elevator from Norfair down into the place where Ridley lives, which is, like, Super Norfair. And we're going to bail out of Norfair. Yep. Basically, we're fast traveling, is what we're doing here. And we're going to bail out of Brinstar, go all the way back to the first screen of the game, just because this is the closest spot to the entrance of hideout number 1. There is an energy tank I'm going to grab in hideout number 1 real quick, just because that's the fastest way to fill up your health, is to grab an energy tank. So if you've already collected all of the energy tanks, although there are more energy tanks in the game than Samus can actually use. I want to say there are 9 hidden in the game, and you can only have 6. So there's really no point in going out of your way to get energy tanks, and there are some that are way out of your way. If you really want to get 100%, you're going to pick up extra energy tanks. But we want to go in this door here, and be very careful, because we've only got 26 health, so falling in lava or something would be a disaster. Like that. I deserved that. But it's fine, because we're pretty much right next to the entrance of this area anyway. We'll just pretend those are the Phantoon spikes. We'll just pretend like that's what happened there. But yeah, every time you die, you come back with just 30 energy, so... At least the missile doors stay open. I want to get this guy dead. And that guy frozen. That's what we want. Now we can get up in this little hole before he unfreezes. And now we gotta do a fun little bomb jump here. Which I missed. It's okay if I miss that bomb jump though, because I can just do this one up here. And full refill. Now we just gotta get out of here. Go see a man about a Kraid. I remember when I first played Zero Mission greatly expands basically all the areas of the game. But I think this area here, which Zero Mission unfortunately just called Kraid, probably got the best update just because all of the areas of Kraid became useful. I'm going for this man to go back up, and then I'm going to use our little double jump trick again to get up and over here. If the double jump trick is not intended, then this is supposed to be an exit, not an entrance. Which is very, very possible. But if you recall in Zero Mission, these areas all had like weird zip lines and things, and I think the speed booster was the ultimate goal of Kraid, if I remember. So there's just huge, huge swaths of this whole level that I'm never ever going to have to go into. Same thing with Ridley's area. Although both of the hideout areas have large... That guy, there's no way to even dodge him. He just comes right out of the lava. Both areas have large sections where they're just trap sections. If you fall in a trap, then you're stuck for a little while. This is how you fight Kraid. You just run into him and push right into his stupid face. At the bottom of one of the trap sections in this level is a fake version of Kraid, which Super Metroid kind of turned into a tradition. There's like the little mini fake Kraid that you can fight. There's an energy tank in this room, but it would put me over my limit. I have no use for it. So we're just going to teleport back up to the top of Kraid's level. And then, of course, Super Metroid went the extra mile to when you find the real Kraid, now he's 3 stories tall. Kraid's kind of a joke boss nowadays, that the game is mostly dominated by speedrun tech. But there was a time when, if you had played the original Metroid, when you played Super Metroid, a lot of the first hour or so of that game is... it's really there to play with your expectations. So in case you're wondering why I didn't grab this energy tank early on, it's because I want to grab it now, because if we teleport out of Kraid, the one in the ceiling here, in what in Super Metroid is called Blue Brinstar, is still there, or was there, and then was still there later. It's there in any event. And I use that as my refill, the 6 energy tank and my refill. So there's an energy tank. If I'm fighting Kraid and the numbers are going against me, like if the hitboxes just aren't lining up, he does shoot missiles out of his chest, which you can freeze with the ice ray, and if you do that, that part of his chest becomes invulnerable. Which, I think is an example of just emergent gameplay qualities. Like, I don't think... if that was intended, it's brilliant, but if it's not intended, it was probably something the programmers noticed and decided that that's just part of the fight. That seems pretty cool. But if you get inside of Kraid's hitbox, you can still damage him. But this is a video game hot tip. Being inside of a monster's hitbox is a great way to take a lot of damage. If I had started taking a lot of damage, like if I'd gone under 200 health in that fight, I probably would have grabbed the energy tank in the room. This is the wrong door. I probably would have grabbed the energy tank in the room just to get a quick refill, but did not come to that. I am very nervous that I'm not going to get the best ending to this game, but you know what? I think a lesser man, somebody who is more of a perfectionist than I, somebody who's not as comfortable in his own skin as I am in your skin. I'm wearing your skin right now. It's so comfy. I'm sorry that I had to skin you, but I think we both would agree that if somebody gets to wear your skin, we're happy that it's me. Yeah, if you come into this room here, and you get a monster to follow you through the door, instead of building this bridge across, you could freeze a monster and get in there. And a lot of speedrun tech does that. There's setups for it and things. Yeah, I think a lesser man might have just scrapped the recording and started over. If I can't get the best ending, I'm not getting any kind of ending. But you know what? I'll take the second best ending. I actually think Samus's swimsuit looks better in the second best ending. We're going to freeze these Metroids and then 5 missiles later. In fact, I want this guy to come up here, because this is a easier spot. Metroids are really friggin' scary in this game. They're fast, they juke around platforms. The ones in actual Super Metroid are just a joke compared to this. Same thing, I want to lure him up here. And you can see we're not getting really good luck on the missile drops. Actually, now that I think about it, I could save 10 missiles by not getting the energy tank after Ridley and instead getting the one after Kraid. Maybe something to consider when I scrap this footage and start over from the beginning. But no, I legitimately do like the second best ending in this game better than the first best. The faster you beat the game, the less clothes Samus wears at the end. Ah, there we go. A missile drop from a Metroid gives you plus 30 missiles. That's a lot of missiles. So you go from her being in her suit to taking her helmet off to wearing her leotard to being in like a string bikini. And the leotard, I think, is the sweet spot. Can I juke this Metroid to come up here? No? Okay, we'll come down to his level then. Evil SpaghettiOs. In fact, part of what you can do in this game is play the game in Samus's leotard if you put in a certain code. I think if you beat the game and then restart it, your second run is also in the leotard. But I think the leotard, for one, it's not as gratuitous as the bikini. The bikini's like, eh, you know, we're all woke these days. The bikini's a little, I don't know if that guy up there is going to wake up or not. You know what? I'm not going to chance it. We're just going to peace on out. But, like, the leotard, I could see somebody, like, if you're going to wear giant, heavy power armor, you might wear something like that underneath. It's better in any event than the crazy cat suit that she wears in Zero Mission, which has become the default now. This guy always gets stuck in the floor. And I'm always happy to oblige him there. We did not get very good luck with the missile drops here. So going in here with 145, I mean, it's enough. We'll be fine, probably. But these rooms are always hellish, just because there's always slowdown. And the way that Samus just bounces around like a pinball when she takes damage. And these things will regenerate over time if you don't pump missiles into them fast enough. And the screw attack doesn't always like to materialize. And the SpaghettiOs come out of nowhere. If you get in a good spot on these blue platforms, there can only be 3 SpaghettiOs on screen at the same time, and if you can kind of see where they're going, and know if and when they're going to hit you, that's kind of the best you can hope for. Common wisdom in this screen is to use the ice beam to freeze the SpaghettiOs in spots, but I have never had much luck doing that. I always just try to stack them up like this and just be mindful of where they're coming from and kind of know where they can materialize on screen. Like that one there at the bottom. What you really don't want to happen is you don't want to take damage and lurch forward towards Mother Brain, because you will fall in the lava there in front of her stupid head, And then you just live down there. I think she wants 30 missiles before she finally gives up the GoPed. I don't know what a GoPed is. But if at all possible, oh, I think we got her. If at all possible, I like to fight her from that blue platform. But the problem is, you got to scroll her on screen or your shots won't connect. And the blue platform does not play well. Like, her sprite is drawn on screen, but her hitbox isn't yet until you kind of go forward off the blue platform and then jump back onto it. In any event, we were really well practiced at that fight, because we used that Justin Bailey code to go through Torian all the time. But as a child playing this game, I enjoyed my time with it, mapping it out, and actually solving it. I'm using the word solving it rather than just beating it, because it felt like anybody could just beat the game. You just put in the Justin Bailey code. Let's see how much of Justin's Bailey we get to see in the ending here. My Audacity recording is under an hour, so I'm pretty sure we got string bikini nonsense here. Also, I don't approve of Metroid advocating for religion and telling you to pray. I don't think that's Nintendo's place to tell you to pray. Whether it's for true peace, or fake peace, or in space, or out of space, or whatever. Oh, Samus, you saucy tart, you. So there you go. There's Metroid. It's a historical piece of gaming's evolution. And some of those pieces of evolution through the years stand the test of time, and others don't. I don't think anybody would suggest that a game like Super Mario Bros. 3 wasn't revolutionary for its time. But in addition to being revolutionary, it completely holds up today when you sit down and play it. To the point where Nintendo essentially re-released the game as part of Super Mario Maker. You can still make Mario 3 levels in Mario Maker. Metroid, on the other hand, kinda left behind, but fortunately not forgotten. Games like Kid Icarus, like Hudson's Adventure Island from that era, they kinda just got forgotten about. Kid Icarus was never surpassed by its own sequels the way that Metroid was. So, Gunpei Yokoi eventually got to realize his vision on better hardware 10 years or so after his first try, and I'm glad he did, because Super Metroid is one of the most fantastic games ever made, and it would not have been possible without this fossil trilobite version of it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next mission. Shoutouts to Eddie for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.